Mr. Tan Jee Say turned up at the Elections Department on Friday morning with his wife Patricia to collect forms for the Certificate of Eligibility, indicating his interest in contesting in the upcoming presidential election. The 57-year-old ran as the Singapore Democratic Party candidate in Holland Bukit Timah GRC in the May 7 general election, but he and his team were not elected, garnering just 39.9% of votes. Mr. Tan resigned from opposition Singapore Democratic Party on Friday morning after deciding to run for presidency on Thursday night. He had been mulling over the decision for several weeks. With Mr. Tan Jee Say in the fray, the presidential election looks set to be a contest among 4 Tans. The other 3 potential candidates who have stepped forward thus far are Dr. Tony Tan, Dr. Tan Bock and Mr. Tan Lian.
I am stepping forward because many Singaporeans want a non-PAP president whose independence of the PAP is clear, obvious and cannot be in doubt. Only such a person can have the moral authority to fulfill the mission of the elected president, which is to provide checks and balances on the PAP government. I am aware of the constitutional limitations of the office of president, but the office of president is what the president makes it out to be. He can be as quiet and inactive as he chooses to be, or he can be active. I want to be an active president, engaging the nation on issues of conscience and promoting worthy causes.
Mr. Tan emphasized that he was running as an independent candidate.
The party had no part in it. It's my personal decision. I can stay with a straight face that I've not been asked by anybody or any party to come out to contest. I do it on my own, and it's my own decision. No one ever suggested to me, no one invited me to lunch, no one invited me to tea. I just make my own decision in the quietness of my bedroom and of my house.
Coming from an opposition background, do you think it will affect your image?
Well, I don't think so. You must come from somewhere. 3 of them came from the PAP. I came from the opposition. But my association with SDP was quite brief, a few months, 2-3 months. But the association of all the other 3 have gone back years, and they have only just resigned. The PAP DNA is very strong in them.
But you also just resigned,
I've just resigned.
So how will you disassociate yourself in that sense?
Well, I think the SDP has got a rather flexible policy which accommodated my economic program, and a number of other parties have also supported my economic program. So it is not an exclusive policy of the SDP.
When asked about the other Tans, Mr. Tan Jee Say said they were all honourable people.
Well, I think they are all honourable people. I know all 3 of them. I used to work for Dr. Tony Tan when he was my minister at the Ministry of Trade and Industry. I know Dr. Tan Bock personally. In fact, on the day that the Straits Times report came out, I was having dinner with some friends and we went over to his house. And I know Mr. Tan Lian well as well because he is in the insurance, in the financial sector. I know all 3 of them, and I'm sure they will bring honour to the office. I think the wider the choice, the better for the people. So that, they have a choice. Each of us bring a different perspective to the office.
The fact that Singapore voters have more of a choice was echoed by Dr. Tony Tan when he was informed of Mr. Tan Jee Say's potential candidacy.
Well, I think that it is good for Singaporeans to have a choice between a number of candidates for this very important post and different platforms. But as I said, the most important thing in the presidential elections is that Singaporeans must be the winner. So whoever is elected must be a person who can fulfill the duties of the presidency.
On his blog, tankinlian.blogspot.com, Mr. Tan Lian wished Mr. Tan Jee Say the best and said, with more candidates entering the contest, the voters of Singapore will have a wider choice of selecting the next president of Singapore. a larger pool of candidates should help to make more citizens aware of the importance of this position and educate more people on the need to make a wise choice. Meanwhile, Dr. Tan Bock announced on his Facebook page that he will be submitting his application next week. In the next 2 clips, check out Mr. Tan Jee Say's full interview with the media.